going on, Jerome's? So, yes, the wounds are still raw and real. Maybe it's a rant. I don't know. But Sam Darnold, slinging Sammy Darnold, a.k.a. America's quarterback, we had some great moments. We had some high highs, and then, unfortunately, there were some low lows down there at the end. Now, yes, blame the offensive line, blame Kevin O'Connell, but Darnold just got the yips and straight up couldn't complete a 4-yard pass, and it was just really unfortunate because Darnold had a fantastic year. Darnold is the reason why the Vikings had 14 wins, and just to realize that, I don't know, maybe it was a Linsanity type run, I don't know. But I think as we look back throughout the years, maybe this is the start of Sam Darnold being a perennial Pro Bowl quarterback, or maybe this will be a one-off thing. Don't know. Also, it's going to piss Vikings fans off so immensely. Like, the most hilarious thing and most Vikings thing to happen is Darnold wins the quarterback accuracy contest at the Pro Bowl games, or he wins Pro Bowl games MVP in the flag football game. 100% that's happening, right? But this is going to be J.J. McCarthy's team. Darnold likely going to be hanging a shingle somewhere else next year, and it just sort of is what it is, right? But the question is, where does Darnold go? I do think that at this point the tag and trade option is off the table because I think that his price point is just so absent. A lot of Kwesi really work in the market. I think Darnold just leaves in free agency, and I think that he gets a massive deal still. Not $55 million per year, which he was probably going to get after this moment, but after this moment, probably still looking at $35 million per year because of the quarterback tax. And that just sort of is what it is. Long story longer, Nick Shukin, not stirred, over at NFL.com, I did up a piece, slinging Sammy Darnold landing spots, 9 possible team fits for the Pro Bowl quarterback in the 2025 NFL season. It feels weird to say Pro Bowl. Anyway, Steelers at 1. So Russ leaving since his super value deal is done. League minimum deal with the Steelers is done. Justin Fields, I thought that Fields looked pretty damn good to start the season, and frankly, they should have rolled with Fields through the rest of the year, but it is what it is. But Darnold in that spot could make a lot of sense there. There hasn't really been any quarterback stability with Tomlin since Roethlisberger retired, so that could make sense there. Then you have the Jets. I want this so bad. Like, the whole Vikings East, where it's Ryan Grigson as GM, Flores as head coach, Josh McCown is play calling OC, and then they bring back Darnold. Why the hell not? Plus, here's what's great. A lot of Jets fans will be down to clown for this because I feel like a lot of them realize it was the team that failed Sam Darnold, not the other way around. So who knows? They got the Giants. So, the Giants probably going to be in that mix in the draft for a quarterback, but who knows in that spot. But I don't know. Like, does Darnold want to go back to the pressure that comes along with being in New York, even if it's not the Jets, even with he's with a more storied organization? Don't know. Plus, Joe Shane and Brian Daboll, even though they're back, they easily could be lame ducks where they're on very thin ice. So does Darnold want to sign up for that long term? Don't know. Saints, they got to do something with Derek Carr's stupid-ass contract, which they will. Him going down to New Orleans could make some sense there, depending on who is hired as the new head coach in OC. The Raiders, I really like the Raiders as a spot for Darnold. I think that one makes a lot of sense where sort of out of sight, out of mind. He's a West Coast guy to begin with. Raiders is sort of getting out there. And I don't know. It's been an absolute gong show for the Raiders, but I think that could be good for Darnold. Also, not listed here, the Rams. If Stafford does retire, say the Rams win the Super Bowl again, and he rides off in the sunset, and McVay is back, I think that the Rams are a perfect fit for Darnold. Again, the California kid, similar type scheme that he succeeded in this year for the most part. Now, Browns, no, please do not go to the Browns. So first off, the Browns will be an option for like Kirk Cousins if and when the Falcons cut him loose, because it's similar to Russ last offseason where you can sign Kurt for the league minimum since the Falcons owe him so much. Same thing with Aaron Rodgers to a degree. So that one makes sense with the Browns. And, of course, Kirk Cousins worked with Stefanski before. But they're going to be in a little bit of cap hell as they weather out the Deshaun Watson deal before they can cut him not this offseason, next offseason. And Darnold doesn't really make a ton of sense in this spot. You got the Colts. I think they're ready to hit the hard reset with with Anthony Richardson. I just think that he's all over the place. So bringing in, signing Darnold, they do have some cap space to work with. Could make some sense there. But also, not that Darnold's going to have a ton of options, but the Colts with Ballard and Shane Steichen also are a GM head coach that are probably on thin ice. So maybe that's a little bit less appealing. They got the Titans, so the Titans do have the number 1 overall pick, but that spot's wide open. And Bill Callahan is one of the best offensive line coaches in the game. Love that for him. Brian Callahan is seen as an up-and-coming offensive mind, so that could be a mind meld there if the Titans decide to pass on taking a quarterback at 1. So it could be great. So they could sign Darnold, and well, was that Darnold shooting a shot with the Hawk Tua girl? Except she's in hiding now because of the whole meme coin thing. But so you take Darnold because, frankly, I like Cam Ward. I like Shedeur Sanders. Not in love with them. Not fully all in to say, like, hey, they're the number 1 guy. But some team might. So you sign Darnold. You already have J.C. Latham. You got Skoronski. You have okay parts of a up-and-coming offensive line. Got to fix that right tackle spot, though. But you trade the number 1 overall pick. You get a fistful of talent. Maybe you stay in the top 5 or 10. You load up on some more tackle talent or offensive line talent, and then just go from there. That could make sense. Yeah. And lastly, of course, they list the Vikings. I think that – all right, so let's hear them out first. Alas, this feels like the most likely outcome after Darnold's disappointing finish. No. The quarterback tax is such that some team is going to massively overpay Sam Darnold, right? Because, like we said, not completely sold on this quarterback draft class. And free agent-wise, I mean, you got Fields, probably Kurt, Zach Wilson. Like, what are you going to do about that? McCarthy is returning from a meniscus injury that cost him his rookie season, opening the door for Darnold's breakout campaign. The fashion in which it ended might tank his value enough to make a return to Minnesota possible. It won't be enough. Perhaps in the range my colleague Greg Roosevelt proposed on NFL Daily, 2 years, $30 million, a $15 million per year contract for a plus backup is feasible financially, and the two parties have enough familiarity from the 2024 season to justify running it back. The latter I agree with, but I think that he'll definitely get more than $15 million per year. Like, it won't be the $55 million, which he was going to get after the Packers game. But I still think that he will get around $30 million per year. And obviously the Vikings aren't going to do that. The difference, though, is Darnold will be returning as a projected backup. He's a reliable option and a nice insurance policy in the event McCarthy struggles or isn't able to get healthy enough to play. There's one concern, though. Darnold's return could create a controversial scenario like the one produced by the Nick Foles-Carson Wentz dynamic in Philly following the Eagles Super Bowl triumph for the Patriots at the end of the 2017 season. The Vikings don't need those headlines. And it would be a little bit weird. Even though I have all the faith in the world in McCarthy, there's still going to be some growing pains, and I don't want there to be every single time there's an interception. Blah, blah, blah. Panda Darnold. Hey, you know what Darnold did against the Falcons? He threw 5 touchdowns. Nah. Now, we have said that I do think that this locker room is mature enough to handle a quarterback controversy, but nah. I would much rather roll with J.J. McCarthy as your quarterback 1, hell for leather, whatever happens, and bring Daniel Jones back as a backup for $7-8 million per season. But yeah, the whole 2-year, $30 million deal for Darnold, that's going to be blown out of the water because there are so many teams that need a quarterback and maybe aren't in position to draft one, or maybe they're not enamored with the quarterbacks in the draft and much rather take a more proven commodity and slinging Sam Darnold is like, Mama, I can fix him. He won 14 games in the regular season and was a major part of that, but I can fix him in the playoffs. Or maybe other teams' goals are just making the playoffs. Or you can sell it to him, hey, fan base, we just signed a Pro Bowl quarterback. Woo! Let's go, baby. So anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Take a look at where Sam Darnold could land. NFL.com lists out 9 locations. Also, I still think the Rams is a great spot. If Stafford retires, we'll see. But then he'll just get to see Byron Young every single day in practice. Great. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. You guys know what to do. Skull production value.